gentlemen, let me turn this off for a little bit. And, well, you know, I'll be back. Take two. Let's, so this thing runs a cooling fan for like 10 minutes to make sure it's not on fire when it shuts off. Anywho, my next update will be about the starting problem. I bought an alternator because my alternator was really struggling and it looked awful also. It looks awful. Belt dust all over it. Yada yada. Voltage dropping. I didn't care if the belt was slipping or the alternator was weak. That's a smaller alternator than should be on this truck in my opinion. That's like a Camaro Firebird 100 ampere. And then this is like the DR44 size, case size. But this is a 220 amp modified, brand new, high amperage. I've started using these because they work. They actually work. I heard from Mike Page about buying these. I had one in the BMW because apparently the BMW has a 185 amp alternator stock. So the 100 or the 140 was way undersized. He sent me a link for a 220. It was actually satin black. You can get these in black too. I don't really care. My tensioner feels like a pool noodle. My belt is extremely shot from the tensioner and the alternator and whatever belt dust and things are going on. It makes a ton of noise. You probably heard it on the dyno while it was idling. This is like louder than the cool idle sometimes. Anywho, I have a friend down the street, Anthony, and he is even closer than Collis Truck Parts, and he is open on a Sunday, and he has belts and a tensioner that are like new, because this is what I have. This is the one that's a noodle. This is the spare one that I found in my attic junkyard. So we're gonna go get that stuff and come back. I don't think I have much more to note about the alternator. How long can we talk and swing a finger at the alternator? Mostly new tensioner, used belt, new alternator, new turbo. Lots of other used boys. I'm gonna once over this thing. I'm gonna check the oil, make sure I didn't leave anything stupid. There's one or two things that I ripped the cap off. I accidentally ripped this fuel line, or the vacuum port that goes to the regulator and up here. So I plugged it with some of my TPU stuff. I'm gonna zip tie some things and then see if it starts, warm it up, go for a drive, see how it does, right? Get some confidence back in this thing. There's the tensioner that was on it. Tensioner I had in my parts warehouse. And then that's the tensioner that Anthony had. It is very fresh looking. I'm sorry, it's difficult to get the camera in there. New alt, 220 amp, vacuum plugs, zip ties, turbocharger, tensioner belt. Should have no more wild accessory noises. I guess we'll see if that's true. So I loaded my old tune from the dyno because I changed the tune a few times, thinking that I messed something up. So I loaded in last known good from the dyno, and we'll see GM ignition cylinder wants to, hey! Another day, some more to update. The truck seems to be running fine. Really not sure what happened. Still feels a little bit laggy. Definitely needs a converter. obviously there's a bunch to go over. It drove around fine today. I did do like 2 or 3 burnouts in it, and I didn't want to film in case it got crazy and I had to keep it out of the woods. But I did one where it went up into first and second, and I rode it all the way down the road, and it was nice. And then part way on my way home, oil pressure started moving around a lot, like up and down, and it was very strange. And it kept saying low oil pressure, low oil pressure. And I was like, what is this about? But then I remembered I had trouble starting it and a bunch of other things, and I was driving it without the wideband, and I probably hosed my oil. If you get that ethanol in that oil, it'll tear it up. And I've had the same problem. The most prominent vehicle I can think of was my G35 would do that. And I actually had an oil pressure sensor on the side of the block directly out of the oil pump. And then I had an oil pressure sensor in the top of the motor. And it would be a 20-pound difference. It'd be more out of the pump than there is in the top of the block. It makes sense. The top of the block is after all the bleeds. Either way, that car would have awful oil pressure after thrashing it for a month or two, and you'd pull a drain plug and it would come out like Nestle water, and it would smell like alcohol, and you would put fresh oil in it and it was fine. So I'm assuming that's kind of what this did. I just changed oil. It literally came out thin as water. I was like, all right, I'm pretty sure that's it. Also, it flushes a lot of nastiness out of the engine, to be honest. So I think it's fine. I'm going to keep messing with it. I still think it's laggy again. You know, just keep chipping away at it. Maybe I'll pull the wastegate off and make sure that's sealing. It feels like the wastegate is opening too early. It's that kind of laggy. I'm not sure yet. But yeah, I'll think about a converter. There's a lot of stuff to consider, and maybe just leave some of it go. But it needs... I pick up a part or two. I think I'm going to get like a recycled 4-inch Duramax exhaust and Power Stroke. A lot of those diesels have nice mandrel bent exhaust, and Collis has stuff like that. So I'll hit them up and buy some mandrels and whatnot for this truck. But yeah, that's what I have right now. It's back to being seemingly fine after swinging the oil pressure all over. I don't know. I'm going to have to put a mechanical gauge on that at some point. It never made noise. Like I always say to people, is it making noise if it didn't blow up yet? So yeah, I know the gauge clusters in these GMT 800s can be hilarious, but I think that's pretty much it for now until I break something.